Is it a real thing?
I love my wife, but I'm gay. Should I come out now? Yes or no?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably put a lot of stress on your life. This is crazy. Bro, what are you doing talking to strangers about this? What's happening here? Oh my lord.
We brought together a group of strangers to help an anonymous person make one of their toughest decisions.
Yeah.
My wife is the most important person.
I'm going to be honest with you. If this guy's actually like, if this is the process he's going through to figure out if he should tell his wife or not, he would have been better off just like flipping a coin or shaking a magic 8-ball or something here.
In my life, and I would never want to do anything to hurt her. But I'm also gay, so I'm not sure how to approach it or even how to come out.
After hearing the group's advice,
What if this gay guy came out to his wife and was like, I'm gay, and she's like, oh my god, I wanted to come out to you too and tell you that I'm actually trans and I'm a trans man. I mean, well, imagine that would be perfect. You know what I mean? That would be perfect, huh? Hey, you know, it's crazy. It could happen.
which choice will this person make? This is the dilemma.
Nope. Nope. All right. Are they going to be able to actually convince him to say no? Like, what if she goes, I know? It's impossible. Imagine me fucking crazy.
How long into the relationship did you realize you were gay?
I knew before I got married.
Damn, asshole.
How did you meet your partner?
We grew up in the same community together. We started off as friends, then best friends, and it grew from there.
Well, she should have known at that point. Any guy with a best friend that's a girl is gay. Let's be honest here, okay?
Is your partner supportive of everything you do?
In our viewpoints on religion, yes. In terms of supporting the LGBT community, no.
Oh, there you go. There's the problem. I feel bad for this guy. God damn. Strapped in a religious community.
So religion is a big cornerstone of your guys' relationship?
We both grew up in the same religious community,
Bro.
so we both grew up with the same values. And
Bro, my question, unironic question is like, do you feel like if you come out, you're going to get hurt? I mean that like a real question, because honestly, just being like in an entire community that's like very religious and possibly very homophobic, which is what he suggested with like not having the same views on LGBTQ people, it's a potential danger in coming out. You know what I mean? It's like, that could be rough.
the same social guidelines, so yes.
Do you think your wife knows you're gay?
No, she doesn't.
Damn.
What was the
Opium.
main reason as to why you went to the yes side?
I have a few family members in the LGBTQ plus community. I know all their experiences coming out have been positive,
Nice.
at least in the long run. I really thought to myself about him coming here, wanting to, share his truth and, speak to us about it. I knew that it's about time. It's starting to boil over, and he needs to come out.
What was your reasoning for marrying a woman even though you knew you were gay?
Because he's in a religious community. It's expected.
I thought that if I got married, that it would change me and that I could become straight.
What are your intentions in life, and how do you want to feel about your life?
I want to be truthful, but I also don't want to hurt the people surrounding me. I'm a very honest person. I don't lie. So the fact that
Well,
I'm
pretty big lie, but I
basically
understand.
living a lie right now, it gives me a lot of anxiety and depression. But I know if I came out suddenly, it would devastate her.
I think
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh because I feel so bad for this guy. But how do you come out like non-suddenly? Like, how do you come out slowly? Like, you just start like what? Like trimming your fingernails, maybe keeping your hair cut, keeping yourself well groomed, like your beard and your mustache. Maybe you just start kind of walking with a little wag, like a little sashay into the step. Like, how do you like slowly come out as gay? You start complimenting your hair more. You start doing this a little more. Like, how do you do that? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm bisexual, and I would have never said anything if I ended up falling in love with a man and everything worked out. And I fell in love with a woman, and I didn't want to hide anymore. Being your authentic self is my principle.
That's weird.
If I ended up falling in love with a man and everything worked out, and
Wait, I'm a little confused. Hold on. Let me just re-listen to
Suddenly,
this.
it would devastate her.
the thing is, I'm bisexual, and I would have never said anything if I ended up falling in love with a man and everything worked out. And, I fell in love with a woman and I didn't want to hide anymore. Being your
I'm wondering why she feels that way. So she's saying that, like, if she fell in love with a man, she wouldn't have said anything. But if she fell in love with a woman, she is saying something. What's the motivation for that? I'm genuinely, like, curious. Like, what is the motivation for that there? I'm just wondering, like, is it because, like, the guy would be, like, try to be sexual about it and be like, oh, you like girls? Let's fuck a girl. Or what is it? Because it gets into a conversation about, like, bisexual erasure. And, like, if you're a bisexual person and you're dating one person and you love them, like, it kind of erases your bisexuality in some capacity. I'm just wondering, like, what it is specifically that makes her want to tell a girl versus, like, but not tell a guy that she's dating.
authentic self is my principle.
So is there an expected fallout that extends beyond just the relationship of you and your wife? Like, is it more than just your guys' relationship that's at stake?
My job is tied to the church, so I could potentially lose my job. I would most likely lose my family, my friends, my wife. I would lose everything, basically. I would have nothing and no support.
Are we the only people who
God damn. Well, maybe you shouldn't say anything. Jesus Christ.
know about this?
I've never told anyone.
Just based on this information now, you guys can switch.
Bro, so, like, this is a fucked up thing, right? Because this guy went to some event. I don't know how far away from his home he is, but he, like, went to an event. Where you going, honey? Oh, I'm just going out somewhere. All of a sudden, he's, like, gone. He comes back. So where were you? Just doing a thing. Comes back like $10,000, whatever they paid him, or $1,000. Where'd you get this money from? I don't know. All of a sudden, this video comes up. Oh wait, who the fuck is that? Same stature. You know, he's still same stature. You know, if I was wearing a fucking suit, you'd be like, that's a fucking fat guy. You know, you kind of know a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, did they find out? You know?
To the other side if you want.
Yeah, I could see why you would. If it's gonna ruin his entire family life and shit, man, I don't know if I'd be saying yes to that.
He was explaining what's at stake if he comes out immediately. Because of that, the more I thought about that, the more I was like, you know what? He's going to be losing literally everything because of this. So I feel like he needs to have some sort of plan in motion first.
The reason I said no, I'm bisexual. Same as you. It took me a cool minute to kind of come to terms with that.
Yeah,
so it's like,
cool
I look
minute.
more at like, am I safe? If you do, you could lose a lot of things that you've built up on this foundation.
Have you at all considered reaching out to therapy or some sort of counseling to help you through this process?
In the community I live in, it's a little bit hard to find counseling.
So it's always going to be like pastoral counseling, like religious counseling in some capacity. He's never going to be able to find counseling.
I live in a more rural area, so the majority of counselors are based through the church.
True.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with God? And has there been moments where you've personally experienced Him guide you?
Yeah.
Are gay religious people attracted to Jesus? Like gay guy religious people? Like, if you sit in the church and, like, you look at that big, sexy hunk of meat laying on a cross with his arms spread out, you go like, damn, it's kind of hot. Because I know some people, I've gotten a few compliments from some gay guys about my armpits. There's something sexy about this pose, you know, like, gay guys love bears. And Jesus is kind of doing that, right? Because he has his arms out. It's doing like a T-pose. Just kind of wonder.
I would say, faith has been a deciding factor in all things that I do in my life, and that I don't follow God blindly. I've felt Him work in my life before. So for me, it's a real relationship that I have.
Yeah, most critical Jesus,
the most
sure,
important relationship I have. God goes before everything else.
Faith is.
What if one of them got up there and they were just like, is your name like Benjamin Johnson? And he's like, what? Did you know what I mean? Like, what if that was the question that they asked him and they just completely doxed him and like fucked him right off the bat?
Just a huge factor for my truth. To me, that's what I resonated the most. So I wanted to be that representation of like, hey, if you just go in with blind faith, it could still work out.
If
you know what's the worst here, by the way?
Okay.
Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's so bad here. I fucking hate this. Her name is probably Mary Ann with a hyphen, but these assholes probably just said Mary Ann without the hyphen. Come on, bro. You gotta do her a little better than that.
Show who you really are to somebody, to anybody, they're going to show you who they are. Like 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And if you're surrounding yourself with people who are kind of not in support of the person that you really are, then that's not a healthy situation to be in. And I think he should 100% come out like today.
I'm bisexual. It took me a cool minute. One of my, I'm not gonna name names, I'll say a family member, told my parents.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of anxiety. It was like, am I gonna get kicked out? I'm gonna stay here. Are they upset with me? It was very much like, okay, whatever, I don't wanna talk to you right now. And it's like, I know coming out, like everyone's like, do it, it's great. You'll feel better. But for me, coming out, it made me feel worse. Because I'm like, I live my truth, but it didn't make me feel the way I wanted to feel.
I believe that everybody should live their truth.
I sneezed.
You're not emotional.
Wait, she's talking about coming out as bisexual? I mean, listen. That's probably, I'm sure that could be a struggle. I just feel like a gay guy, a man coming out as gay is probably worse than a woman coming out as bisexual, especially in a religious area. And I know you'd be like, oh my God, that's some kind of a shh. Unfortunately, in our society, we sexualize lesbian women. So a bisexual woman would be perceived to society as like, that's kind of hot. Now, that's obviously inappropriate and sexual, but it's a much better response than like, oh my God, you should die. As a gay guy, gay men tend to get they kind of nay-nayed. Somebody hits it with a whip and then nay-nay, fuck you, so.
Totally responsible for anybody. You don't owe anybody your life. You be you and they'll figure out how to be them.
I think it's different, like you're saying, you're not responsible for other people's feelings, but it is, I know the guilt that I would feel as like a husband to be hiding something from my wife is like horrible.
Yeah, because like, let's also not forget that they are married. They have vows.
Yeah.
And part of
There's a
those
lot
vows
attached
is
to
to
that.
tell the truth. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because you're taking away another person's ability to live in
Bro,
reality.
listen, at the end of the day, this guy's either going to get married, stay married and be unhappy, or he's going to get like divorced and like lose a lot of his family and whatnot.
And that's wrong.
Yeah, lesbian women
I
do
do
have
wanna
the power to
point
stop
out
space and time. Thank you, Jerry. You're very correct about that. That's a good thing to bring up. People don't really understand that, and that means the bisexual people have the bisexual women have the ability to slow time down. It's very true. You guys have to keep that in mind.
I'm not necessarily saying that he should wait like years to come out. I'm just saying
Oh,
maybe
no,
take
don't
just
do
like a couple months. Like I would say go to counseling, go to therapy, figure out who you are, and who
a
you
gay
are
guy.
even without the church and without your wife.
We already established he's Benjamin Johnson from rural Kentucky. He's married to Martha Johnson. He has 2 kids. Benjamin Jr., Jane Johnson. We've already figured. Could you imagine I just guessed all that?
And without all that stuff, once you figure all that out, then you can start going through that process of how am I going to come out.
Yeah, but I think the focus should be more like him just finding himself,
Yeah.
like all that planning, like where's he gonna go and all that stuff. Yeah, those are
And
tough
also focus on kissing guys because you're gay and like you should do that. It's good to have fun, enjoyable sex, very healthy, sexual, consensual encounters.
questions, but it doesn't have to be answered right now because, it takes baby steps.
All right. That guy's taking some baby steps over to the don't come out.
Coming out is not ripping off a Band-Aid. It comes with so much anxiety.
Bro.
It comes with so much
Chris is speaking facts.
fallbacks, depending on who you are, where your community is aligned, you know what I mean? And it
True.
shouldn't just be ripped off, because even ripping off Band-Aids hurt. You know what I
True.
mean? It's not
I hate that. My wife's like, you should rip it off. Just get it. No, I'm hairy as fuck, motherfucker. You don't have hair. I take it off slowly, okay? And I kind of like try to like pull the hairs out, but like not at the root. Like try to like chop it off with my sharp fingernails because that hurts like a motherfucker. I hate people do that. Do it in the shower. Slowly roll it up my arm. Sometimes I just give up for the rest of the day, and like maybe I'll wake up and it falls off. Pulling off Band-Aids is it's a cringe. It's
a
cringe.
painless process just because it's quick. And people
Skill
really
issue?
need to
Fuck you.
understand that.
Was there anything in the discussion that caught your attention in some way?
I think when they were mentioning when you come out, like right now, that person will show their true colors to me. That resonated with me because that is true. The other issue that was brought up was the point of counseling and kind of preparing myself. I feel like that could be beneficial.
Okay. The groups will separately prepare their final advice to present to Jacob. Okay.
I think there was too much discussion of what's step 10, what's step 7, what do we do like 3 stages from now?
I think that's what he's saying again. I think what he needs from us is comfort.
I personally say if you hit your wife with a car intentionally, it's a win-win. You hit her with the car intentionally. She either dies or goes to the hospital. You're no longer basically married to her because she's dead. But then they also send you to jail, and you'll be around a lot of other guys, and it's basically like a dating game 24/7, and win-win. That's my best advice for you, to navigate the situation of being gay. That's my best advice.
Like ultimately, at the end of the day, people are going to be people, and you can't predict how someone's going to react.
Right.
Also, I've met people who've been in a dangerous situation because they came out.
So the biggest concern
My
is his
community.
safety.
All right, final advice.
So one thing we talked about was not necessarily needing a plan because your dilemma isn't coming out to the world right now, but it's coming out to your wife, like your partner. And just as a married man of faith, you said your wife grew up in the church with you and you grew up in the church, and so your wife possesses those fruits of the Spirit that are like patience and kindness. And I think those attributes, like you said, it sounds like are in her. And so she would be loving and kind and patient with you.
That's
one of the things
hopeful. You know, let's hope that they're loving and kind. Some religious people don't adhere to that advice.
I want to just encourage you on is that you've been in a vulnerable position before where you had to put your whole trust in God and he came through. So I just encourage you to sometimes be okay with taking just the first step forward, and everything else you could figure out along the way.
So I first want to be clear that yes, you should come out, but you should definitely wait and give it a little bit more time. As we're worried about your safety, number one.
Sure.
The other thing too is that you need resources and you need time to get those resources. Like I said, like these divorce processes and everything, they don't take a week. And then it's all about your community, right? Personally, me and my family is super religious, so I very much understand where you're coming from about investing so much time in your community and the sense of loss that comes with it. But you have to understand that you'll be fine, your relationship with God will be fine, but this is a very tough decision that is more than that.
You know what's kind of crazy to me, and like I could be wrong about this, but it kind of seems like there's more gay people, LGBTQ people over here than over here. She's LGBTQ, but and it just kind of seems like they're very focused on like, yeah, I had a really negative experience coming out, and like from their experiences of coming out, like they were like, it's kind of negative, and like make sure you operate in like the best capacity because it's gonna suck. That's some real horrible, unfortunate shit, bro. Like honestly, all fucking jokes aside, all stupid bullshit aside, it's really terrible that even today, like we're living in 2022, that like gay people and like bi people and all that, they're still feeling pressure when they come out. They're still getting shit on when they come out. Like we've centralized our conversation around trans people, which I understand why we talk about trans people, of course, but to such an extent where like I feel like we think like we've solved gay people. Like yeah. It was on, but damn, man, gay people still have it fucking rough. People are still getting shit on when they come out. They're still getting ostracized from their communities. They're still being put into situations where they feel like they couldn't come out. You know, that sucks, bro. That's rough. That's terrible, you know?
Jacob, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling like I got
Jacob, I knew it. His name was Jacob Johnson.
a lot of just helpful words that have helped me kind of put together an idea of what I want to do going forward.
Have you made a decision in your mind right now?
Yeah, I think I have.
Yo, what if you just told your wife, oh, I'm gay, but I would love you, I want to stay married to you, but I want to fuck other guys, and she's like, all right, whatever, dude. And like maybe she could fuck like the guy, you know, like what's that movie? John Proctor? Is that the movie where like he's like the big buff guy and he's like, yeah, and then like she could fuck John Proctor. Am I getting the name right? The Salem witch trial movie. You guys know what I'm talking about? What is he doing? Is he gonna attack them? Imagine they increase the stakes and they're like, whoever gets it wrong dies. All right.
Yeah, so upon getting home, you know, I told my wife that I wanted to do counseling. And we've been meeting with a wonderful counselor, and she has just been able to give us a lot of tools to work with. We meet one-on-one, so I get a chance to be very open with her about how I feel. So I think within the next few months, definitely, I'll be ready to fully come out and just prepare myself and my wife for that.
He's not coming out. Yeah, he's not coming out.
I feel like the weight's been lifted a bit. You know, I still have a journey to go through.
Unfortunate stuff, brother.
It's going to be hard either way, but I feel a bit of closure in the sense that I know what I want to do now. Well, I do believe that it's a decision to make.
Yeah, how uncomfortable. I feel like that's a very small square, like with personal space, bro. Step back. You know what I mean?
Through God, I also think that it should be a decision that's made with the.
What do you do with yourself in this? Like you're just staring. Hey, stare at that guy for 15 seconds. Why? If we're doing a shot, we're gonna put his audio over this so that he tells us an hour from now. Okay. You just kind of sit there. I'm just adjusting my glasses. Put your hands in your pocket. What do you do?
Help of a counselor. I think that it's only fair to my wife that when I come out, I do it in a way that's not only safe for me but safe for her, and to make sure that I have the resources I need in case something does go wrong. Thank you. You guys are the first people that I've ever opened up to about this, so it was.
I know that if you hit
Wow. Well, that's nice though. I wonder if that was like a very like a lifting experience for him to just be able to tell somebody about it, even though he's not up like assigning his face to what they're talking about.
that wall of just like, I don't feel like no one's gonna support me, no one has my back, know that we have your back. You know, in spirit, from the distance, like you have people who believe in you and who's gonna support you, you know, who want you to be happy, and you just, from the distance.
What happens, like, they all kind of come in there to give him a hug. And then one of them's like, now! And they grab the hood off, they grab the mask off, and they're like, look at him! And they kind of like, they all like, get a picture, and they're going through their phone, and they're like, boom, 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 boom. They send the picture already. It's already gone. Delete that. The Jubilee's like, no, you can't do that. It's like, it's already gone. Already uploaded to the internet. Already done. This guy's gay. Boom. How horrible would that be? Coordinated strike team. Be intense. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.